What is up, you guys? We are back for another Stitchers After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. Today we are talking Season 3, Episode 4, Mind Palace. What a great episode. We've got a lot of thoughts, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another all-new Stitchers After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We are so excited to be here. This was an incredible episode. Before we get into it and kind of introduce ourselves, did you guys feel like it was hard to keep up at some points of this episode?
Yes, I definitely thought
all the symbols.
I was like, what's happening?
Because we watched together on Monday nights, I was like, okay, Dakota, wait till the end. It's going to be explained at the end. It's going to be explained. Dakota was like, I'm confused the whole time.
Yeah, I was like tapping on her shoulder like, hey, wait.
Are you confused? Do you get it? I'm like, it's going to be explained. Chill. It's fine.
I know. And speaking of, Becca, where can everyone find you on social media?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Hey guys, my name is Camille Lauture, and you can find me at Camille Lauture on Instagram.
Hi everybody, I'm Karla Beltran, and you can find me on Instagram at Karla with a K, B-E-E, Travels.
All right, and you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones. I'm going to try to get into Stitchers mode. Becca and I just came back from watching such a sad but amazing episode, the finale of Pretty Little Liars, but that's a whole nother after show that I'll be talking about later on tonight. Let's talk Stitchers, guys. This was so great. This one was called Mind Palace, and just seeing everything that goes into this show has just vamped up every time. So every time it's more intense, more is at stake. And, you know, they're putting their lives in danger more rather than just being in the lab. Yep. So we kind of start off this episode where Camille kind of takes over due to Cameron's performance anxiety. This is her first time, one of her first times taking over, but she kind of
Go Camille.
Does this alternate route where Cameron doesn't feel comfortable and he is standing over there breathing down her neck and doesn't really let her lead the stitch. What were you like, okay, Cameron, you gave the controller to her, let her do her thing?
In a way, yes, but at the same time, no, because they were trying to map out a different area that they've never been to in the brain. Yeah. So I can understand why he kind of felt a little bit nervous about it. But at the same time, I feel like he should trust them because they also know what they're doing, and I think if Kirsten needs to to stitch out, she'll go out.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. But more on Cameron's side because they kind of abused his trust. Yeah. You know, but definitely he should allow them to just take over because they are so comfortable doing it. And Camille's a really knowledgeable person. She knows what she's doing. But again, they did.
I know,
abuse his trust.
What was on the USB? I didn't catch that part. I didn't understand because they abused his trust because Camille and Kirsten were kind of
yes.
Some kind
so
of USB.
She was able to get an image of parts of the brain that they've already mapped out through stitching. So that one there was certain parts that weren't showing bright or whatever, and those are the ones that they haven't been able to map out yet. So go inside that part of the brain to try and develop it, so it'll be easier for when she tries to map out her mom's brain.
Yeah. Wow. I must guys. I'm gonna be honest.
I get it.
That's amazing though. Thank you.
Yeah. Basically trying to find out more and uncover more mystery, and I mean, I feel like the only way she can get into she can discover more about her mom is by mapping those places that are unmappable.
Yeah. That's so funny because usually I'll sit here and if I don't understand something oh yeah, but I was oh wow, I missed that one. But that's crazy. It makes sense though. But I was what's going on? But she they kind of went behind his back. He was mad. He left. Kirsten ran after him to kind of be I'm so sorry, but why does it feel in these shows the girls are always working something up behind the guy's back?
But the thing is, this is the only way they can do this, you know? So it's not there's another way to, fully map out this and to be able to, solve her, be able to figure out, what's going on with her mom. So this is what she has to do.
Yeah. But it's so funny, though, because, they're always going behind people's backs, but she's well, you would have said no, and it's well, exactly. You gotta do what you gotta do. She really wants us to find her mom, and I totally get that. That's something that I would want to as well. So it's okay, I get it, but let Cameron in on it or tell him, I don't care what you say, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Sure.
I really like the fact that he said, like, you know, which part did you not get about trusting me? Because, like, that is key. Like, you know, it's right. Like, how come, even if he would have said no, maybe he would have changed his mind, or maybe he would have thought about it, or, like, we don't really know for sure that he would have said no because he is kind of willing to help her out.
Right.
So it's just kind of one of those things where we have to find out.
I know. But it was a very telling episode. It was kind of interesting because we kind of get this whole John Doe is what they call him in the beginning. He's like a spy, super generic spy name, John Doe. But so we kind of figure out that this guy, we don't really know much about him, but we stitch into his brain and his memories, and he is some kind of a spy who has categorized his memories according to like image-based language. So we have like a cow with a snake wrapped around it. We have
the apple tree.
What else do we have? Like
the swords, the four soldiers.
There's so much symbolism going on in this episode, and I'm like, symbolism was never my thing in English.
I know. I never quite got that lesson. I might have been sick that day because I didn't really know.
I personally loved this part of the episode because, like, I took rhetorical theory, and that was, like, one of my favorite courses that I took in college. And it was, like, so interesting to see, like, the different things that people came up with, like, a certain image. And, like, I was sitting there, like, right now watching the show. I was like, oh, my gosh. I was like, what can the cow possibly mean? And then the snake, but the snake is in more than just one. And, like, I was like...
your brain working.
Yeah, I was like, definitely. I was like, I was like, yes.
So it was a Karla episode, for sure.
Yeah.
They wrote it for Karla.
Yes, they did.
Thank you.
So we see this guy named Abbott, who I love how Cameron calls him the stick up his arse. You know, won't give him any information. He's kind of withholding stuff. I mean, he's a spy, so he didn't think anything's out of the norm. We're like, okay, well, he can't really tell much.
Yeah.
But we think this guy, you know, is just doesn't know much, and we kind of like, okay, so we kind of move on from him in a sense, and we're like, okay, he must not know much, whatever. He ends up being a little bit more involved.
A little bit, just a tiny
little bit. But what we know at this point is that whoever they're stitching into, this John, what is his last name?
Harrington.
John Harrington. So he's this guy, thank you. He's this guy who was on a roof, or we think he's on this roof or whatever by himself, and someone comes and kills him but shoots his finger off, and then he falls off the roof to his death. Or maybe he dies and then falls off the roof.
I just remember last night our exchange going on. Wait, why was his finger cut off? I'm like, I don't know. Who killed him? I'm like, I think it's A.
I know, and I was like
aren't
super
you done
confused.
home?
I know, but yeah. So like, it's so funny because most of the episodes I'm like, oh, this happened. I'm like, okay, what happened? Like this episode. But so moving away from that from a little bit, we also see Fisher and his wife work together to get paperwork to get this girl out of jail. Apparently she like punched a cop. We don't really know much about her, but her name is Chloe Marks, and she gets out of prison, and Cameron takes her home, and he kind of looks at her booty a little bit. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Cameron, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I know, and she sleeps naked.
I was like,
Yeah, I felt the tension with Kirsten.
Yeah, Kirsten was
The
like...
minute, like, Chloe came their way,
Isn't
she was like,
Yeah, but he did look at her.
Yeah,
he did check her
he
out.
did.
He did check her out.
Isn't Kirsten with feelings great? I just have to say,
Yeah.
I love it. Like, so much more than season 1. She has feelings.
Right, and not only
she shows them.
Not only does this Chloe girl pretty much clear out Cameron's bar. I mean, she drank all the beer, she drank all of his booze. She also sleeps naked, and she apparently walks around after her shower naked, which is super weird. And this is why she really seriously needs a pair of MeUndies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about that
So
for a
she's
second.
not like Buffy.
Yeah, so she's not butt naked. She really needs to walk around in these very comfortable underwear, sustainably sourced and made from Michael Modal, a fabric that's 3 times softer than cotton. And because MeUndies comes in all kinds of colors and patterns, they released a new limited edition pattern each month that always sells out. And this month, it's a rainbow confetti print called Celebrate. So you can try MeUndies today. Go to get the Celebrate pattern before they're all gone at MeUndies.com/buzz, and you'll save 20% off your first pair. I think Chloe would look very good in these
Yeah,
celebrate
I think so
undies.
too.
I think
But yeah.
Kirsten would like that.
Yeah, exactly. That would
Appreciate that.
That would be very appreciated. And you have to feel for yourself to see how MeUndies is so soft and why they've sold over 5 million pairs to date. And if you don't love your first pair of MeUndies, they're free. That's right, they're free. And that is how confident they are of their products. So get 20% off your first pair plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/buzz right now. That's MeUndies.com/buzz. All right, guys. We've pretty much solved Chloe's problem.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Exactly.
She's got a lot going on in her life, but we helped her a little bit. Don't you think?
I think so.
But okay, so whenever she was walking around in these like without anything, were you like, okay, she's coming on to Cameron, or were you just thinking that's just her?
So I was a little fearful that something was going to go down between Chloe and Cameron. I don't know. That was what was going on in my
Really?
mind, because I was like, he's having the oxytocin levels rising. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I was kind of scared because the episode before, when we were seeing what's going to happen next, we saw that Kirsten's like, maybe we shouldn't be together. So that was going on in my mind. I'm like, are they going to break up? Is something going to happen? Is he going to cheat on her?
Look at you. You're like a spy. You're like, I got these clues from last week's preview.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
According to my calculations.
I know.
No, but that's I didn't even think of that. That is so true. That could have very well been. And whenever he kind of played into it a little bit and kind of checked her out as she was walking away, and like, he was obviously like, oh my gosh, there she is standing naked. Like, you could tell he was still kind of bothered by it. He wanted to kind of like look away, but like he still kind of looked.
Yeah.
And so I was like, boy, you better turn around. You better.
Before you
Keep your eyes up.
I know. And
Let's not forget, Kirsten has feelings again. So
I was just lying down on my bed and just like defending Kirsten. I was like, oh no, he better turn around. No.
Yeah.
No.
He better turn
I was just
around.
feeling for her.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm like, he better
seriously.
get up and walk out of his own
Exactly.
My thoughts are just Camston is in game, so you keep your eyes off other girls.
Yeah, I think that if they aren't, there's going to be serious problems. But,
Yeah.
it's funny because I feel like this is the only big relationship that's really carried on throughout the seasons. I mean, like, obviously, Linus and Camille are not together anymore. Fisher, didn't really like Camille, and she kind of liked him. Like, all these little relationships that we've seen, they're all broken up and on to new people.
guys, can we take 1 second to talk about the fact that I feel like Camille and Linus got closure
They
in
did.
this episode.
They did.
They did,
But-
and it was fantastic. I loved how like she trusted him enough to tell him, like, to be the first person to tell him, like, oh, I'm actually trying something new. I'm dating a girl.
Yeah.
And then just like that moment that they had at the end was like closure. I was like, yay.
Well, they did get closure because we were talking about like how we didn't ever figure out why they weren't together anymore, really.
Yeah, we never did.
But
So frustrating.
I also feel like they're based off of last night's episode that there's a chance they could get back together in the future if Amanda ends up being like someone.
Yeah, if
who they
Amanda,
can't trust.
right? If Amanda
Yeah.
ends up being someone we can all trust, and then also, what if Ivy turns
Yeah, I
out
was
to be
just gonna say
someone a
Ivy.
little sketchy? Maybe they could get back together. I could see it, but I feel like it's not for a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was really sweet. There was closure there, like you said, and yeah. So it was just like this moment where we think everything's gonna be okay. So then they invite them over for dinner. So Amanda and Camille are gonna make food for them, and it's gonna be this big fun time. It's gonna be a party. But then when they're there, they kind of swap lovers in a
Places,
sense.
yeah.
I was like,
That was so
uh-oh.
funny.
And they threaten each other like,
Yeah.
what are your intentions? I don't trust you. You're working with your dad's stinger. And then Linus was like, I have kind of threatened her, like, or else type of thing. And she's like, what are you gonna do? And just seeing that tension, I'm like, oh my gosh, they still kind of have love for each other.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like they could get back together. I liked that scene, even though I was kind of like, uh-oh, they're gonna like mess up these relationships for each other.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
Amanda's comeback was hilarious. She's like, are you threatening me? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a medical examiner. I can think of 9 ways to kill you and make it look natural.
I know.
Yeah,
She's
that
like,
was
do you want to see the
fantastic.
ninth? And I'm like, oh shoot.
Hilarious.
Damn.
I know. That was intense. But I love her character. I think that she is such a great addition to the show. And it's just hilarious. Like, she is like Camille so much, but almost like a step above. Like, she's always got that comeback, and she's like Camille, but in a completely different way. So it's not like we have the two of the same characters, but they complement each other very well, which I think goes really great for the show. But I do want to talk about how Chloe kind of talks about, like, oh my gosh, so did they not tell you that John and Abbott were partners? And she's like, oh, well, maybe I've said too much. And then she goes to see Abbott, and then she comes back with this black eye. Now, knowing what we know now, do you guys think that was a fake black eye because they're working together? Do you know what I mean? Because like Chloe and Abbott weren't working together because they hated each other, and she didn't really quit. You know, you know what I mean? I feel like the black eye might have been fake.
You know, I'm being technical here, but she went to sleep and then woke up with the black eye too, so like no makeup
true.
smudged if it was fake.
Yeah.
But I think it could have been fake. Because I'm still confused. Who shot Abbott?
Who shot Abbott? I know.
I'm still confused.
I don't know who shot Abbott.
I did not think about that.
You know, like
I didn't catch it.
if it was
Oh.
What?
Yeah, no, maybe they. Yeah, maybe.
Unless Chloe did.
I was gonna say Chloe maybe.
But she was at the house.
Yeah, but she was
because she came back with a black eye, and then it was told to her later on while she was at Kirsten's house. Was it at Kirsten's house, right? That Abbott's been shot. He's lost a lot of blood.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't.
I don't know who did it.
Was it Chloe?
I don't think it was. Let us know in the comments, guys.
Wait,
if you're watching, please let us know, because that was the one question that I asked Becca, and she's like, I don't know. I think he shot himself, and I was like, I don't think so. But I really don't think that.
Shot Abbott.
Who?
Mark.
Who the hell's Mark?
I don't know. Who?
Marks? Maybe Marks?
Marks.
Chloe?
Marks.
Chloe Marks.
Marks.
Okay, I'm like, who the heck is Mark? I'm like, don't add one more character in the show. I can't handle.
Yeah, Marks.
Okay.
Chloe Marks.
Maybe. Oh, I
Sorry,
was
guys,
expecting
I
something way bigger than that. You literally leaned in from me, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, she's gonna sneeze on me. And you literally go, oh man, that was a big one.
Yeah, maybe that's how she got the black eye.
That's
from
amazing.
punching.
Oh, so he punched her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
So he punched her, but
She shot
then
him?
did she shoot him and then go home and pretended like, oh my gosh, he's shot?
Oh, no, she didn't pretend
Maybe.
that he was shot. I think that's actually a pretty good like prediction. Because when she leaves, when she gets there, is when she's like, oh, he got crazy. You have no idea.
Yeah.
And then we don't. And then the guy is like, oh, you know, he like hasn't been here. Like he's not here when the guard talks them in, but he's like he was there.
And he was laying in the floor dead.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah,
that.
they
He's
got
not
in a
dead.
fight.
Wait, he was.
He's not. They're both going to be in jail together for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
That's what...
So he didn't die.
Yeah,
He didn't
so which
die.
is why I'm confused, because
He was shot, but he didn't die.
if Chloe shot him,
Mhm.
that's just... He
Lost out a lot of blood.
Yeah.
They
though.
just got in a.
Okay.
They
Not only that-
got in a fight. Probably.
I know, but then who brings a gun to like a fight between lovers? I mean, you
They're
know what
not
I mean?
exactly lovers. They
she's a
killed.
bit
They
psycho.
killed someone together.
I know,
Yeah.
They're
but-
both psycho.
But
They're
they
psycho
are
lovers.
psycho lovers, exactly.
They are.
Yeah, but something's gonna go wrong if they're both psycho lovers.
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 No, I get what you
Lovers.
mean. I guess the only
Lovers.
thing that I need to know is the timeline, because like if he punched her and then she shot him and then they didn't find him until later that afternoon, he must have lost a lot of
lot.
blood.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said like, oh, he's lost a lot of blood, blah blah blah, and like even she was like, oh, you know.
But
That's how she
but like when she
reacted.
found out,
Oh.
she's like, I quit. I never want to see him again. And then whenever she found out he'd been shot, she was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should rush to his side. So it was like, she was like, that moment was kind of weird for me, because I'm like, if you hate him so much and you quit, why are you thinking you should rush to his side?
But we have to remember that they are spies.
Yeah.
So they're probably lying
Yeah, I could see it.
about like 95% of the
Also,
time.
Jay says spies bring guns. So
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Good
true.
point.
Well, Amanda basically has to watch Chloe while everything goes down, and so Amanda's alone
like,
at the
damn.
house with Chloe, and they're
No.
drinking a lot of wine, and they're having a good time. And Camille finds out, oh my gosh, because she like in the stitch they find out that Chloe is actually someone named Belinda, and Belinda was marrying John, but then I guess Belinda was having an affair with Abbott.
The cow with the snake.
There you go.
Snake.
Exactly. So it was like, okay, what's happening? But that makes sense. So then apparently, I guess Abbott and Belinda were on the roof together. John caught them, and then they both killed him. And then they wanted a ring back for some reason. What was the ring? They literally purposely shot off his finger.
The ring was from her family.
Well, and because the ring when the till death do us part thing, because it didn't come off the finger. It was from her family.
Yeah, the ring belonged to her.
Okay. I'm like, all right. Okay, but no, I kind of get it. So she wants the ring because the ring belonged to her, so she's like, I'm going to kill him, but I want my ring back.
Yeah.
Like, so I get it. I mean,
so she's like, I can't get the ring off his finger, so I'm going to naturally
finger off. Shoot it off.
Yeah, shoot his finger off.
I wonder.
Why not?
I wonder if they, like, I seriously wonder if they killed him before they shot off his finger, or if they shot off his finger before they killed him. That's what I want to know.
Why?
Because that would, like, are they gonna make him have like pain? Are they gonna put him through a lot of torture and pain? Probably. Or are they gonna get it over with and then shoot the finger off? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're like, why?
Well, I know. Personally, I think my rhetorical theory of this is I think we don't find out if he did anything wrong to them, right? Like, he didn't
John?
do anything. Yeah, he was just trying to figure out who was... Oh, yeah. Okay, that I just thought about this. Like, so his wife pretended to be abducted and pretended to be dead. And then, like, her body was never found. So she clearly didn't want to be found by him. But she didn't want to hurt him. But she already did hurt him.
Because he went to go and search for her.
Yeah, so I think that they killed him first and then they shot off his finger. Because I don't think she would have wanted to, like, be in pain.
I like that.
Because it was already painful for him to, like...
she cared?
Yeah, psycho, but she cared, I think.
I'll kill you, but I care enough to make you not suffer. But I'm still going to blow off your finger.
Yeah, it's fine.
I love how, this has got to be this season our most intense recap because we're still all trying to figure it out together.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah, I watched the episode twice and I still didn't.
I watched it twice as well.
Who shot Abbott?
Yeah. So we're going to trust the timeline that Marks did it, or I guess Belinda. But basically, just to kind of give you guys a backstory, Belinda went missing. That way she could be with Abbott. So John was, like, tirelessly searching for her because he was in love with her. Abbott was like, yo, leave it alone. She's gone. Leave it alone. He would not do it, so they finally had to just kill him because he was getting in the way of their happiness. So it started off with, like, a little affair, and then it got into, like, this life-changing, like, oh my gosh, we have to kill this dude. Otherwise, we'll never be able to be together. She went missing. She changed names. All this stuff just to have, like, a new life, and John was not letting it go, and so that's why they had to kill him. So that kind of makes sense, but yeah, it's like that whole thing was just insane, but I really like how they kind of tied it all up at the end because the whole episode I was like, what's happening? And then
we got the conclusion at the end.
Yeah.
See, patience.
I was not patient. I was like, what is going on?
Patience, Dakota.
Patience is a virtue.
I know. I was like, who's Belinda? Who's Chloe? Why is John doing this? What happened to Abbott? Why is Abbott laying on the floor dead? Chloe has a black eye. What's going on, guys?
It's like, I'm confused. I'm just like, Camston.
Yeah, Becca's just over there like chilling like a hippie, like, Camston, it's gonna be okay. And I'm over here like trying to analyze. Okay, so then at the end there we find out that we might be able to be getting more information and like being able to choose who we can stitch into because apparently there's this random box that like sorts through and like randomly selects people to stitch into.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but it has like a 6-digit code that changes on the hour.
Like it changes every 15 minutes.
Wow.
Well, it makes sense because it like changes around. I guess everyone's mood in the all.
The what?
I guess everyone's mood.
What do you mean?
Like based on storylines. I mean the people who they stitch into every episode. It's based off of everyone's mood.
What do you mean?
Like how they're into like the storylines outside the storylines. You know? Kind of.
I don't get it.
No, I don't get it.
I'll explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, afterwards, because okay, hold on. Let me explain it in another way.
Yeah, go for it. I'm over here like, what's going on?
And not right now. I'm trying to think of a better way to explain it.
Well,
hold up.
So it's not. Okay, you said it's random.
Yeah, I think it's random.
It's based on people's moods.
No, I think the code is random. Like the code that
Oh, you're talking about the code itself. I think he's talking. I think there was like miscommunication. He's talking about how do you think that they choose who they stitch into?
Yeah,
and why there's like
moods, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. I think
well, they said it was like random.
Yeah. Well, no. I personally think that they stitch based on different parts of the brain.
Okay.
Because every single time, like, it's not possible for them to be able to get to each part through like different ones. So that's why they've been like. I mean,
growing
the brain
the
is like,
Okay, that makes sense. But they did say they think. I'd like to think
I think it's the related to personal lives thing.
Okay. I think I'm more on what you said.
Yeah.
Because remember, there's this whole bigger plan to the Stitchers program.
Yeah.
So it can't just be random.
Right.
There are reasons why
they choose
are
who they
stitching.
choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it is probably to fully map out
the brain, the human brain.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Becky, look at her.
It is the brain thing. I get that part.
Thank you guys.
Yes. You pretty much figured out the entire show. We can all go home now.
I do like Starbucks, just in case. Just kidding.
Yeah. Just send her Starbucks, guys. No, but that's really genius because I didn't really think about that. But yeah, it is. They think it might be random, but the whole thing is they're doing it to map out the human brain because every time they run into problems and they're like, oh, well, we're having like. Problems mapping out this area. We've never been here before, and it's every time they work through it.
Yeah.
So they're building this entire thing on how to get to every part of the brain, maybe to figure out a bigger murder, or maybe trying to figure out like what happened with Jacqueline.
I don't think it's random, but I still think it's the personal lives thing.
Okay, I'd like to hear more about that because it does sound interesting. But I'm not quite grasping.
But I don't think it's random. I think it's like the machine detects what's happening in their personal lives. And
I just don't know how a machine could do that.
It's a Stitcher's lab. How do they stitch into people?
Well, I just don't understand. Like the machine listens to them and like gathers. Oh, they're feeling sad today.
Well, I don't think it's the machine that's listening to them. It's obviously somebody behind the machine.
Yeah, it's someone behind the machine working the machine.
Okay.
Because the code is changing too.
Yeah.
The code isn't changing by itself. Someone is manually changing the code.
Maybe it's Kirsten's dad.
Maybe
he has a bigger plan.
Or maybe someone in the Stitchers lab is like that we know and love, like Camille, Linus. Someone is going in and like changing things or like making it. Or maybe one of them is on the inside. Inside.
Based off the episode where we meet the son and see Kirsten's dad, I think it's him controlling the codes and like changing
Kirsten's
the code
dad
manually. Yes, the machine.
Maybe.
I'd like to think something like that, but I really do love the idea that they're mapping out the human brain. I think that's really cool.
So cool.
And they're thinking we can do this and start picking the stitches we want, so then that way we can get closer to figuring out how to bring her mom back or how to figure out what happened to her mom or but seeing what happened in the preview, let's get into some predictions.
Before we go into predictions,
Too late. Moving on. I'm kidding. Go for it.
I was gonna say we had to give a big thanks today to Fisher because thanks to Fisher and taking the time to him training Camille, she was able to save the day, and she saved Amanda and she saved herself.
Oh, you're
and
right.
like it was like it was finally like we were able to see Camille in action because we had seen her like seen her like training, and then like when she was like and then when like she pretended to go to boxing class with like the Kirsten's ex and stuff. So yes, shout out to Fisher for taking the time to teach her what she knows now, and that she was able to save the day.
Yeah,
that's so true.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
that scene was awesome.
Yeah,
and that tag team was incredible.
She kicked butt. Like
flashback to the I'm in the same pitch.
Yeah, when she did the kick. I was like, that's the Camille that we all love.
And she was like, I don't know what came over me. I just care about you so much, and I want to protect you. And I'm like, go, Camille. But I thought it was really sweet. I thought it was awesome, and thank you for reminding me because I totally skipped over that. But yeah, that was an awesome fight.
She's
and
so badass.
They really kind of put her in her place.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, now let's get into predictions. Let's try it again.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, I had like a really good one and then it escaped my mind. So someone else go before. No, it's okay. I'm really glad you brought that up.
Jay
Oh my gosh.
is saying don't leave us, Fisher. Do you all think Fisher's gonna stay in the show?
Oh, that was
What do you
my
mean?
prediction
What happened?
with Fisher. I think.
Tell us.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly where his wife is gonna go.
Yeah,
So we were
'cause
talking.
his wife is leaving.
There are
Oh,
talks
yeah.
that she may get the job at the DOJ.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that Fisher and his wife are gonna move somewhere.
Stop.
Like
Fisher
leave.
can't
Like
leave.
Fisher
Leave?
probably leave. I mean, because I can't imagine. I mean, it's not that I can't imagine, but would he give up his wife again?
Well, no, but
we don't even know.
Like,
How
But we
far
don't
away
even-
is the job?
Yeah.
That's something I don't know, but I was sensing that perhaps, like that scene just made me think, whoa, where is this DOJ?
Yeah, that's a good point too. That's kind of scary.
yeah, Fisher can't leave.
That's
He's like-
really.
No.
He's like a big, huge part of the story now. Like,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
can't leave.
Like,
It's like
Fisher,
Maggie
you
already
cannot
left.
leave, okay?
I know. And when are we gonna
just
get Maggie
thanked you.
back?
yeah.
You gotta stay here.
Maggie,
exactly.
we miss you.
But yeah,
Feel
where's
free to come
Maggie?
back.
Let's come back, Maggie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss Maggie so much.
I
Yeah,
know-
seriously.
We keep hearing her name, and I'm like, okay, great. Where is she?
I wonder if she like had obligations to shoot something else.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Probably.
They always do that
figured,
stuff.
yeah.
They're always like, well, I gotta go out of town. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, you're shooting something else.
No, but she left because of her son, remember?
That's
I think
true.
it is.
That's true.
In the show, she left because of her son.
Maybe she's like, all right, 2 years from now, guys, I'm gonna have a huge movie role. So start writing this in now.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're not, I guess, getting an episode next week because it's 4th of July. So they're moving the next time that we see the show to the next week. But it's killing me to know who stole the mother and like where she is.
Who stole the mother?
Because I don't like her name is really awkward for me to say. Jacqueline.
No,
Jacqueline.
just the way who stole the mother.
Who stole the mom?
What about like who kidnapped?
Who stole her?
Who stole?
Because she's in like a little like action
That
figure
still
box,
sounds
guys.
better, but I get it.
It's almost like shoplifting. She's in a little like action figure box, so someone stole her. You know what I mean?
Oh, you
Hannah
know
Marin,
We get it.
PLL season 1.
Exactly.
PLL
But if you-
episode 1.
But if you actually think about it, like, episodes starting not next week, but the week after, like, it'll probably be a new shift, like, because now they can choose who they stitch into, and this is all going to be relevant to her mom. So now it's probably just going to be more focused on finding her mom.
Yeah, and now that
I was gonna say I want the show to get focused on just Kirsten finding her mom.
Her mom.
that's gonna probably be
less
like
stitching into random people, but I guess like that's what she has to do.
yeah, that's
But
gotta be
still,
like
I'm impatient.
mid-season. That's
I'm
gonna probably be
impatient.
like mid-season finale or like finale that we actually see them together.
Okay, but this can't be the season. Like, the
Isn't
finale.
it?
No, I know.
Finale,
Yes,
finale,
exactly.
like-
The finale
Yeah.
finale is not going to be for another 7 episodes. Or no, the 7 episodes is going to be the mid-season finale, right? Is there 20 episodes or 10 episodes?
There's 10 episodes, so
Oh.
the next episode is the mid-season finale.
Oh, I wonder if we're going to see her then.
Maybe in the next season.
In the next season?
Renew Stitchers season 4.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if they made us wait another season after it's already been like...
I mean, I think they.
I
Could.
hope they do. I hope they do. Like, I hope the story doesn't just, like, end.
I
the
hope it doesn't
season.
end, but I'd love to see Kirsten's mom involved. Maybe let hook up in a separate tank and they can like double time. Like, because you know what I mean? Like, Kirsten can stitch in, her mom can
Maybe-
stitch in, they can like hold
Does she know how to
hands over the
stitch?
tub.
Does her mom know how to stitch?
She was
Well,
the
her-
first experiment.
I think we need
Something
some 2-hour
happened, though.
episodes.
But it wasn't Kirsten stitched into her mom.
But then I think wasn't the whole reason she's stuck is because she was never to be able to get out of the stitch.
No.
The mom?
She was in a car accident. She was in a coma.
Oh.
And so Kirsten went into her mind to bring her back.
to try and bring her back.
So
Yeah.
the mom was never involved with the stitch program? Stitch
No.
I don't
program?
think so.
Mm-mm. No, it was her
That
dad.
was.
Wow. Wait.
It was
okay.
her dad.
Her dad
and
messed
Clark.
it up for all of them.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Like literally the dad messed it up for everybody.
Well, clearly we get to see, like, in the short clips that he comes back and he scares Ivy. So something tells me that Ivy has been talking to him, but she hasn't actually seen him because she's really scared. Yeah, like she looks really scared when she sees him. So
he looks mangy.
Yeah, he looks like creeped out.
Maybe she's had communication with him without knowing in some weird way. Like she's been talking to someone, but she doesn't know who she's been talking to.
His hair was all stringy, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh shoot! Like, who is this guy?" But I was like, it makes sense because we recognize him from like the stitch where it was like the voicemail stitch where he's like, "Kirsten, I know you're there," type of thing.
Okay, technically, Kirsten's mom, Yvonne pointed out that she was part of the first stitching test, so technically she is kinda related to the stitches.
Is it Yvonne or Ivan Soto?
Ivan.
Yvonne.
I don't know how to say it.
Ivan. It's all good. I
said it like pretty low.
I know you're like Yvonne. That's funny. But yeah, like I think that this next episode is going to be great. I think we're maybe going to get some answers. And if you are right, and if it is the mid-season finale, or technically, yeah, you're right. It would be episode 5. Okay, yeah. So we got to get some answers next week because then are they going to make us wait a few months and then come back with the other 5 episodes or
10 episodes?
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times for mid-season finale, they like wait like a few months and then come back with the second half of the season.
I hope not.
I know, because I'm like, I need some answers.
I'm like barely getting into it already. Like,
that's what stinks whenever shows only have 10 episodes, because you know, like Pretty Little Liars and shows like that, we can have like 10 episodes in a row, and then we have to wait a couple months, and then we get the other 10.
A couple months, we wait till like next year.
Well, yeah, that's true. But with this, it's like we only got 5 episodes, and then if they make us wait, that's going to be so sad. But we'll have to see.
I'm not good at waiting.
I'm not good at waiting either. Yeah, waiting is no fun. By the way, speaking of waiting, just a random little thing. Keegan Allen, you know how he has his new book coming out, Hollywood? No? You never heard of this? Keegan Allen, who plays Toby on Pretty Little Liars, he's coming out with a new book called Hollywood. And he has like a new Instagram page for it and everything, and he just announced it today. And I was like so excited, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. And so I go to like look and see like when it comes out and like try to pre-order it. It doesn't come out until April 28th, 2018. And I'm thinking like, speaking of not being able to wait, that's a long time.
No, don't worry, he'll go on a 10-year book tour again.
He will, yeah. But like, it's so hard, and I feel like shows do that, but it makes us almost like crave it more for it to come back. You know
it does. It does.
It makes sense.
It builds up the tension for when it comes back.
Definitely.
Very strategic.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap?
Yes, I wanted to say that you know how we were talking about like who chooses what they like, what they stitch into.
Yes.
And how you said that it was probably the dad changing the code.
Yes.
I think you might be right, because right now that you just said that they stitch into that guy who the dad talks to, he's like, hey, like, Kirsten, I know you're there. Like, he must have chosen that stitch.
Oh my gosh.
Because he wanted her to see, like, he wanted him to see her. Like, no, wait, I'm not saying this correctly.
I get what you're saying.
He wanted her to see him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, yeah,
that
Becca, you were right then, yeah.
Yeah,
I can
right?
see that.
Because it's not
he
random.
might be the one
No,
dictating.
none of it's random. I think it's all being dictated, but I think it's like when they need to stitch into a person. This isn't gonna make sense. When they need to stitch into a certain person, like depending on the case, depending on what happened to the person, that person comes along.
You know what? I kind of get that, because maybe it is Stinger who's dictating it all, and you're right, because you said the thing about the voicemail. He's not gonna go kill a bunch of different people, but then again, that one wasn't really randomly selected, because that one was someone so high up. It was Blair's son. So like Blair kind of called like a impromptu meeting, was like, look, this is my son, we need to stitch into him right now. So it wasn't very randomly selected.
But
you know what I mean? Because he was like, my son just died.
But didn't
Blair
Blair and Kirsten's father have some sort of connection?
Yeah. But I don't think, you know what I mean though, like if it's just...
Yeah, because it was Blair's son.
It was like, oh my gosh, like this one, he kind of called them in late night and was like, look, we just need to do this one. And he kind of like held people at gunpoint just to do it. So that one wasn't really, I guess...
I mean, they'll do whatever they need to.
That's true.
You know, if he got to kill his son, he probably would.
That's true. That's so sad though, because they were like friends, you know? They were friends, but there was something else I was going to say about the... Okay, so you said that so maybe the code is the only... They said randomly selected, so maybe in our minds we're thinking, oh, they meant the stitches, but no, it's the code that was randomly selected. So I could see the reason that they're getting like a lot of these more sensual stitches where people are like having sex and stuff is so maybe Stinger's like thinking that Kirsten's getting too close to figuring out what happened to her mom. So he's trying to make it harder for them to get through the stitches because he's thinking if I pick things that kind of activate her oxytocin levels, maybe it'll kind of screw her up. So then I think he might be doing that to kind of like mess with them so they don't get too close. I don't know.
I could see something like that happening.
You guys, I feel like this has been our most in-depth ever
Yeah,
discussion of Stitchers.
We really
Seriously.
broke
What
this
is happening
down.
on this show?
I feel like if the creator or the directors or anyone's watching right now, they're going to be like, these people are nuts. Because
What is happening?
what is happening? But you know what? It was one of the most in-depth discussions, but I feel like we all kind of get a gist of what's going on.
Yeah.
And you guys are very smart in coming up with a lot of this stuff, because this episode I was a little bit lost on, I'm not going to lie. I got a little bit lost, but I'm glad you guys kind of made me see the light. But as always, it was a great episode. We love recapping with you guys so much. You can follow AfterBuzz TV everywhere at AfterBuzz TV. If you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure to give us a 5-star rating. We'd love to hear from you guys. Write a review. And if you're watching and listening to us on YouTube, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to AfterBuzz TV's channel. And again, where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Karla with a K, Bee Travels.
You can find me on Instagram as well at Kamisha Lauture.
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones. We love you guys, and we will talk to you 2 weeks from now. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.